Are you dealing with knee pain or arthritis that limits your daily life? Whether it's stiffness, discomfort, or even pain that flares up when you move, you don't have to just live with it. In this video, I'm going to guide your knee joint through my proven functional mobility formula, a simple and effective approach to help you improve mobility, reduce pain, and start to move better without relying on countless stretching or painkillers. Stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to lock in these changes to live a pain-free life long term. So the first R in the functional mobility formula is recognize. So first we want to recognize where our symptoms are. Typically knee pain and arthritis is going to be either on the front side of the joint or right around the joint line. Once we recognize the location of our symptoms, we want to recognize a handful of movements that we know are dysfunctional. So for knee arthritis, typically squatting or going upstairs is provocative. So you'd want to collect 2 or 3 movements that cause your discomfort, so then we can retest it at the end. The second R is reduce tension. One of my favorite ways to reduce tension is just using a towel. So what you're going to do is roll up a towel like a tight burrito, and then you're going to place it right in your knee pit. You're going to close it down, and then you're simply just going to hug your heel towards your butt. And what we're doing is using the towel as a fulcrum to help gap the joint and reduce some of that intra-articular tension. So I'm going to do a solid 10 to 15 of these. If you have any pain or discomfort, just smooch it. And then as you rep this out, you're trying to go further and further until your heel can touch your butt. From the other angle, I'm going to wedge that towel in my knee pit. Then I'm just going to simply hug my heel towards my butt or towards the edge of where I'm sitting here. And if you have pain or discomfort, you want to start slow. So just kiss it. And then as you rep this out, can you start to go further and further into those ranges so we can really reduce that tension. After reducing some of the knee joint tension, the next R is restore joint range of motion. One of my all-time favorite mobility exercises for the knee is called a knee capsular car. For this, you're just going to be sitting down, and I'm going to hug my thigh here or squeeze it so it doesn't move. I'm going to lift up my toes, and then I'm going to try to externally rotate my tibia as far as I can. So the idea behind this movement is restoring that knee rotational range of motion, and then I'm going to start to work into that tibial internal rotation. For me, this is sticky on this side, and you're just going to slowly go back and forth, just trying to carve out as much of this range as possible. Not many people train their knee rotation, so if this feels foreign to you, just start to practice it, and as you do this day over day, it gets easier and easier. And if both knees are stiff, don't be afraid to do the other side. And then if we have one side that's worse than the other, then you can start to kind of compare and contrast which side moves more. So I can tell I have way more of that external rotation on my right side here, sticky in that internal rotation, but again, not a range that we train very often. And this way we really start to restore that joint mobility and function. The next R is reinforce. So now we're going to reinforce the changes we just made with a strength exercise. And what we're going to do is some assisted squats. So a squat rack works great at the gym, or you can use the inside of a door frame at home. But what we're going to do is stand as close to the squat rack as possible, and then we're going to hold on as we start to go into a squat pattern. So with this assistance here, we can really work into that deep knee flexion. Of course, if there's no pain, then you're going to drive your feet into the ground to bring it back up. And then you're just going to simply repeat. So if you have any pain or tension, say right around here, just touch it, come right back up. Don't be a hero and blast through this because it can start to tighten back up on you. But as you do this, can you start to go a little bit further and further before you hit your discomfort? If it's opening up, that's green light. That means the joints are craving it. You just don't want to go 0 to 100, especially with a weight-bearing joint like the knee. And if this is too difficult for you, it gets easier the further you stand back. So that way, as you go down, it doesn't drive as much of that knee flexion. But without any gym equipment, this is a really good way to reinforce the changes we just made. And then lastly, we want to reassess. So how do we know if this is helping us? Well, we recognized a couple baselines before. The first one was just, where's our symptoms? Does it feel less stiff or less painful? If yes, then you know, okay, this is really good for you. Reducing symptoms is important, but actually more importantly is restoring that function. So let's say our body weight squat sucked before. Can you go deeper into that position before feeling that discomfort? Or can you start to go up and down stairs more comfortably? If yes, then you know this is a really good routine for you, and this is something you should be doing daily. And if my functional mobility formula makes sense to you, we want to recognize our dysfunction, reduce tension in the area of dysfunction, restore the joint range of motion, and then reinforce with a strength or stability exercise, then let me know in the comments below what muscle, joint, or even nerve you want to see next.